How to master focus and transform your life, Machiavelli's way. In a world filled with noise, your attention is under attack. Every notification, every scroll, every distraction is slowly destroying your ability to focus. And here's the dangerous part. Most people don't even realize it's happening. They wake up, check their phones, jump from one task to another, and by the end of the day, they've accomplished nothing meaningful. But centuries ago, long before smartphones, a man understood something most people today still fail to grasp. Focus is power. And if you can control your focus, you can control your life. This is the philosophy of Machiavelli. Not motivation, not wishful thinking, but cold, strategic control of your mind, your actions, and your environment. In this video, you will learn how to eliminate distraction, build ruthless focus, and transform your life the Machiavellian way. The real reason you can't focus. Let's be honest. You don't lack ambition. You don't lack dreams. What you lack is sustained focus. And the reason is simple. You've been trained to be distracted. Every app you use, every platform you scroll, is designed to steal your attention. Because your attention is valuable. The more distracted you are, the easier it is to control you. You start something, then you check your phone. You try to concentrate, then your mind wanders. You tell yourself you'll focus tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. And slowly, you become someone who wants success, but can't stay focused long enough to achieve it. This is not an accident. It is a system. And if you don't break out of it, you will remain average, no matter how big your dreams are. Machiavelli's first law, clarity, is power. Machiavelli believed that power begins with one thing: clarity. Because if you don't know exactly what you want, you will be pulled in every direction. Look at most people. They want money, they want success, they want happiness. But they cannot define what those things actually mean. So they chase everything and achieve nothing. Focus requires sacrifice. You cannot focus on everything. You must choose. One goal, one direction, one mission. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment you choose one path, you must let go of others. That's why most people stay stuck. They don't want to lose options. But without eliminating options, you can never gain focus. So ask yourself, what is the one thing that truly matters right now in your life? Not 10 things. Not 5 things. 1. Because until you decide, your energy will remain scattered. And scattered energy produces weak results. Distractions are your enemies. Machiavelli didn't see obstacles as inconveniences. He saw them as threats. And that's exactly how you must see distractions. Not as harmless habits, but as enemies of your future. Every time you scroll endlessly, you are losing time. Every time you delay your work, you are weakening your discipline. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you are reinforcing failure. Focus is not just about working harder. It's about removing what weakens you. Think about this. You say you want success, but your habits are aligned with distraction. You say you want discipline, but your environment encourages laziness. You say you want to change your life, but you refuse to change your behavior. That contradiction is why you remain stuck. If you truly want to master focus, remove what wastes your time, limit what drains your energy, cut off what destroys your attention. Because every distraction you tolerate is a vote against the life you want. Emotional detachment, the secret to consistency. Here's where most people fail. They rely on feelings. I don't feel like working today. I'm not in the mood. And just like that, another day is wasted. Machiavelli understood something critical. Emotions are unreliable. If you let your feelings control your actions, you will never be consistent. Because motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel strong. Some days you feel weak. But focus is not about how you feel. It is about what you do, regardless of how you feel. The disciplined man works when he is tired. The focused man works when he is bored. The dangerous man works even when he doesn't feel like it. That is the difference. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. Your environment controls you. Look around you. Your environment is shaping your behavior right now. If your phone is always near you, you will check it. If your space is filled with distractions, you will lose focus. If the people around you lack discipline, you will adopt their habits. You cannot expect focus in an environment built for distraction. Machiavelli believed in controlling circumstances, not reacting to them. So instead of asking, "How do I stay focused?" ask, "How do I design my life so distraction becomes difficult?" Remove temptation, create structure, build a system that forces you to stay on track. Because willpower is limited, but environment is powerful. This is just the beginning. You've learned why you can't focus, how clarity shapes power, why distractions must be eliminated, and why emotions cannot control you. Most people think focus is about trying harder. It's not. You've already tried that. You've told yourself, "Today I will be productive. Today I will stay disciplined." But somehow, you still fall back into distraction. Why? Because focus is not built on effort alone. It is built on structure. And without structure, your mind will always choose the easier path. Discipline is built, not born. There is a myth that disciplined people are somehow different. Stronger, more motivated, more naturally focused. That is false. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build. And like any structure, it is built through repetition. Machiavelli understood this clearly. Power is not about occasional action. It is about consistent behavior. Think about it. If you only focus when you feel like it, you will fail. If you only work when you are inspired, you will stay average. The man who succeeds is the one who shows up every day, regardless of mood. Not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. So instead of asking, how do I stay motivated? Ask, what system forces me to act even when I don't feel like it? Because once action becomes a habit, focus becomes automatic. The power of routine and systems. Your life right now is a reflection of your systems. Not your goals, not your intentions. Your systems. If your system is weak, your results will be weak. If your system is inconsistent, your focus will be inconsistent. Machiavelli didn't rely on chance. He relied on structure. And you must do the same. Create a daily routine that removes decision-making. Wake up at the same time, work at the same time, rest at the same time. Because every decision you make consumes mental energy. And when your energy is drained, distraction wins. But when your life is structured, focus becomes easier. You don't think about what to do next. You simply execute. Deep work, the secret weapon. There is a level of focus most people never reach. A state where time disappears, distractions fade, and your mind becomes fully engaged. This is called deep work. And it is where real progress happens. Not shallow tasks, not multitasking, but intense, uninterrupted focus. Machiavelli may not have used the term "my," but his philosophy aligns perfectly with it. Because deep work requires isolation, discipline, control. Here's the truth. You cannot build a powerful life with shallow focus. You must train yourself to go deep. Start with 60 minutes. No phone, no interruptions, no excuses. Just you and the work. Then increase it. Because the longer you stay in deep work, the more powerful your mind becomes. Delayed gratification, the edge most people lack. We live in a world of instant rewards. Instant messages. Instant entertainment. Instant pleasure. And that has destroyed patience. But Machiavelli understood something dangerous. Those who control themselves control outcomes. If you always choose what feels good now, you will suffer later. If you learn to delay gratification, you will dominate in the future. Focus requires sacrifice. You must choose discomfort today or regret tomorrow. Every time you resist distraction, you are strengthening your mind. Every time you stay disciplined, you are building power. And over time, that power compounds. mental toughness, becoming unbreakable. Focus is not just mental clarity. It is mental toughness. Because there will be days when you are tired, you are stressed, you are overwhelmed. And in those moments, most people quit. But the focused individual does not. Machiavelli believed in strength through adversity, not avoiding difficulty, but enduring it. So when things get hard, that is your test. Will you retreat into comfort? Or will you continue despite resistance? Because every time you push through, you become stronger. And every time you give up, you become weaker. Focus is not built in comfort. It is built in resistance. By now, you already know the truth. Focus is not about motivation. It is not about talent. It is about control. Control of your time, control of your actions, control of your mind. But there is one final level. The level most people never reach. Because this level requires something deeper than discipline. It requires transformation. Not just changing what you do, but changing who you are. Identity, the root of all behavior. Every action you take comes from your identity. If you see yourself as distracted, you will act distracted. If you see yourself as inconsistent, you will behave inconsistently. And no amount of motivation can override that for long. Machiavelli understood human nature deeply. He knew that behavior follows belief. So, if you want lasting focus, you must change the way you see yourself. Not, I'm trying to focus. Not, I want to be disciplined. But, I am a focused person. I am disciplined. I do what must be done. Because when your identity changes, your actions follow naturally. Self-sabotage, the invisible enemy. Here's something most people don't realize. You are not just fighting distraction. You are fighting yourself. That voice in your head that says, take a break. Do it later. It's not that important. That voice is your biggest enemy. It is subtle. It is persuasive. And if you don't control it, it will control you. Machiavelli believed that internal weakness is more dangerous than external threats, because you cannot defeat what you refuse to confront. So, the next time you feel resistance, don't obey it. Observe it. Recognize it. And act anyway. Because every time you override that voice, you weaken it. And every time you obey it, you strengthen it. Silence and focus. The power of withdrawal. There is power in silence. Power in withdrawal. power in stepping away from noise and focusing entirely on your mission. Machiavelli understood the value of absence. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to withdraw your presence. Not out of fear, but out of strategy. When you reduce your exposure to distractions, when you limit unnecessary interactions, when you protect your time and energy, you create space for focus. And in that space, you become dangerous. Because while others are distracted, you are building. While others are talking, you are executing. While others are wasting time, you are moving forward. Consistency, the final multiplier. At this stage, you don't need more information. You don't need more motivation. You need consistency. Because consistency is what turns effort into results. One focused day means nothing. One productive week means little. But months of disciplined, focused action, that changes everything. Machiavelli believed in long-term strategy, not short bursts of effort, but sustained execution. So stop looking for quick results. Stop expecting instant transformation. Focus on showing up every single day. Because success is not a single moment. It is a pattern. Detachment from outcomes. Here's a paradox. The more attached you are to results, the more pressure you feel. And that pressure can destroy your focus. Machiavelli understood the importance of detachment. You control your actions, but you cannot control every outcome. So, instead of obsessing over results, focus on execution. Do the work. Stay consistent. Improve daily. And let the results come. Because when you detach from outcomes, you free your mind. And a free mind is a focused mind. The transformation. At this point, you are no longer the same person who started this video. You understand distraction. You understand discipline. You understand control. But understanding is not enough. You must act. Because knowledge without action is useless. So, from this moment forward, decide who you will become. Will you remain distracted? Or will you become focused? Will you continue to delay your life? Or will you take control? Because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to force you to change. It is your responsibility. Your choice. Your life. And if you truly apply what you've learned, if you commit to focus, if you build discipline, if you control your environment, then everything changes. Not instantly, but inevitably. Focus is not just a skill. It is a weapon. And in a world full of distraction, the focused individual is unstoppable. So choose your path carefully, because every distraction you entertain takes you further from your goals. And every moment of focus brings you closer to the life you want. This is your moment. Take control.